Hello and welcome to Skolaris Weekly. I'm your host Martin Klemsa. The topic for today is to find out how large a timetable can Skolaris handle. I don't know that, so let's find out. I've set up a term that has 50 days and 50 periods, which makes 2,500 time slots, which is quite large, certainly larger than any regular school would use. Um, it takes a bit of time for the browser to actually load this kind of data. So this is the term. And let's go over to the timetable and see if Skolaris can display and schedule some lessons into 2,500 time slots. Let's create an empty one actually. So close the wizard. Create a new timetable empty. Let's call this huge timetable test. There we go. So let's try to run the optimization. Okay, so that works. Let's try saving. Okay, no problem. 50 days, 50 periods. So let's add some substantial number of lessons to the timetable. Okay, so all the screens that display the time slots actually take quite a while to load. That's because we're working in the browser, and the browser has really lots of elements to render. Anyway, let's go to the Lessons tab. Let's try to just... can we clone all the lessons? No, we can't. So let's create a bunch of lessons. The subject really doesn't matter, it's just a test. So how many instances per cycle do we want? So the maximum number of instances we can create in one go is 64, so let's go with that. And let's go with the duration of, I don't know, 3, because we have 50 available periods. Let's do chemistry. So this is 64 lessons of chemistry of duration 3. Okay, there we go. And let's create 64 lessons of biology as well. Duration 5. Right, this was much faster. Looks like Skolaris is getting used to the large number of lessons being created. Let's create some English as well. Okay, no problems. How many lessons do we have? We've got 200 lessons exactly. That's not enough. That's really not enough. Let's create 64 of drama and physics and some music and maths. 456 lessons. Let's go to 500 lessons, which should be 44 more. So, and this is going to be English literature, for example. So now we've got 500 lessons. How many periods do we have? Remember, a lot of those lessons were multi-period lessons. Right, so we've got 1,256 periods. Let's try to schedule that. So let me just rename this configuration set to something else. This is a huge timetable, and we need to change those limits. Great, let's open that timetable that will probably take a while, even though 500 lessons is not really that much. We're going to create more in a while. There we go. Looks like there will be some work to do for Skolaris. Let's see. Alright, so this isn't really such a big deal. It's just really a bunch of lessons. There are a few constraint breaks, but I'm quite sure that if I just turn off the soft constraints and run the fast optimization, they will all go away really quickly. And indeed, they have. Okay, so it's time to save our changes and create more lessons, and I mean many more lessons. And we're going to do that by just cloning our existing class group. Before I do that, I'm going to create 64 more lessons of business of duration 1 and say 64 more of mathematics of duration 4. I don't think we have duration 4 yet. So there we go. So we got 1576 periods. Let's clone this class group, and this is going to be 5b. We've got one clone. Let's create another clone. 5c. Right. So now there are about 4,500 periods. What will that do to Skolaris? Okay, let's have a look at those warnings. So, no teachers. Yeah, well, we haven't been assigning teachers to those lessons. That's no problem. Let's have a look at the optimization. Okay, let's stop this. I think we only have one room, and that certainly doesn't help because we have 3 different class groups. Okay, 2 rooms, but nevertheless, let's turn off the room constraints. That is just slowing us down unnecessarily. And let's go again. Let's run the optimization just for a little bit. Yeah, so this is pretty slow, although it would probably give a result in a few hours, but we've proved that it works for 50 periods and 100 days. But let's try to break it. Let's try to make Skolaris not work, or make the browser go out of memory or something like that. So let's go to the term screen, and let's add 50 more periods. So I'm going to be doing this by using a keyboard shortcut, Control P. That's for add period. – 100 periods. Ah, there we go. So the browser has crashed, but let's see if it actually saved the data, or if it can load it correctly. Okay, this is certainly, it looks like it's too much for the browser. It doesn't have enough memory for all the data. But let's wait. Nope. So let me try it one more time. No, so there we go. If you put 100 periods and 50 days into your user interface, the browser probably cannot load it. Now I'm going to try a different browser. Let's try, so this was Google Chrome Canary, but let's try Microsoft Edge. Edge is actually built on the same engine as Chrome, so I wouldn't expect a different behavior here. Let's wait a bit longer for the browser while it's trying to load our term data. Nope. So there was Edge. Let's try Firefox. and open the term. Yeah, I don't think this is happening. We waited for about 2 minutes for Firefox to display the term. Maybe it just doesn't know when to give up. Chrome and Edge gave us a message about browser being out of memory. Firefox doesn't give any messages but doesn't display the term anyway. So there you go. That's we've certainly found something to look at here in Skolaris. Maybe do some better optimization in order to be able to display large data sets. So with the conclusion that we managed to break Skolaris by entering 100 periods and 50 days, I am signing off. We'll be taking a break from Skolaris Weekly over the summer. We might come back with a special edition at some point, but let me just wish everyone a great summer break. Let's hope all your timetables come up really nice. I hope you enjoyed this experiment and have a nice day. Bye.